This is the new Range Rover, and while it looks a little bit like the old one, trust me, underneath this is a completely new car with some huge upgrades. Now in its 5th generation, we're going to go and take a look at the new Range Rover. But before I go any further, if you like what you see, why not give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome videos just like this one. Now, we're going to start things off with the design. What a beautiful and sleek car this is. Now, from a distance, and because I don't have my glasses on, everything is blurry, it does look a little bit like the previous one, but I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There are some pretty subtle differences though. First thing is we have a new grille with a kind of more, I don't know what I'd call it, rectangular design. Just looks a little bit sharper than the old car. And while the light signature is very similar indeed, it actually cuts into the side of the grille here to just add a little bit more aggression. It's also been simplified further down. So what we saw in the old car was kind of two air pods either side and then the number plate in the middle. But it's a lot sleeker. We now have a much more uniform line running along the front of the car. And if you get up really close, it's pretty much seamless. There's no bumper that sticks out. There's just the odd little crease kind of carved into the front bumper. Moving further round, and this is where it starts to really impress, in my opinion. So it's hard to kind of figure out where to start really. It's all comprised of 3 lines. You've got kind of a bit of a sloping roof line going on here. You've got a really distinct line running from the front to the back of the car, and then also one at the base which kind of angles slightly upright to give a more kind of pinch design. Makes it look like it's moving even when it's sat still. What I really like about it though is we now have a floating roof line. You have gloss black pillars from the front to the back of the car, and I just think it looks great. And just like the front of the car, it's a very seamless design. If I kind of look alongside here, there's pretty much no dents and bits that pop out. We've got 23-inch wheels on this car here, but there are lots of different sizes. You've got 20, 21s, and also 22s to choose from. And just one little design thing I like, if you follow this line all the way to the back of the car, it kind of stops here with this little aluminium bit element here. And the reason is because they didn't want it to continue to the back. At the back, we have a very different design indeed. Luckily, we can see it with the lights on because you've got these ultra thin LEDs at the back. And when they're off, it's completely black. So you're not going to have any of those disgusting aftermarket smoky rear lights. It's just going to look sleek and seamless. And you may also wonder where the indicators are. They're not actually integrated into the lights here. They are here, but you can't see them because it's all really well hidden. Now, let's head back towards the front of the car because, yes, while it looks relatively similar, it's more of a design evolution, there are some big changes underneath. We've got a new platform, 80% aluminium. It's also 50% stiffer than before. Now, it can also go off-road. This is an off-roader after all. You're looking at a wading depth of around 900 millimeters, which is seriously impressive. And you also have slightly shallower, steeper approach angles, about 34 degrees at the front, 29 at the rear. Apparently it can climb slopes of about 45 degrees. I'm not big on off-roading. Anyway, when it comes to road comfort, you actually have rear wheel steering, which is to make the car a little bit more nimble and maneuverable in the corners. And you also have adjustable suspension with 145 millimeters of travel. So you could slam it when you're in the city, or do what I do, get in a car like this and jack it right up. Now, along with that, we've got 4 engines that we know about. It all starts off with a 3-litre inline-6, which is available as either a petrol or a diesel. There's also a plug-in hybrid version with 510 horsepower, but crucially can go for up to 62 miles on electric energy alone. And you also get a nice 4.4 litre V8, which will go from 0 to 62 miles an hour in 4.6 seconds in a car that is absolutely gigantic. And 2024, there'll be an electric version as well. Now, that's just the outside and the technical bits. Let's have a look at the inside. The changes are pretty damn significant on the inside as well. And oh man, that's comfortable. Now, it's a very minimalist cabin. It's all about taking away clutter. We've got a very streamlined exterior design, and that's the same on the inside. So I think the thing that stands out to me the most actually is this 13-inch touchscreen display, and it's slightly curved as well, so it looks as though it's been draped over the dashboard rather than integrated into it. And it's kind of got like a floating effect as well. And that's joined up with a new digital instrument cluster. Again, it's kind of got that floaty effect, but you do have a cover over the top, so if it's a bright day, you're still going to be able to see how fast you're going, or slow or whatever. We also have this new vent design, super sleek and integrated into the top of the dashboard and just kind of vanishes away. I've seen a lot of companies do this and they don't really get it right, but I think in here it looks pretty damn sleek. There's a lot less clutter in the center console as well, but crucially, and I pick up a lot of cars on this, there are physical buttons. They've got dials for the climate settings. It's something that you're going to find yourself doing all the time when you're on the go, and it's good to have a physical dial. I also got some neat storage options front and back here with wireless charging, huge bin under the armrest too, and a twin spoke steering wheel with metal paddle shifters, lovely. And we've also got some, do look like they're going to be haptic feedback buttons, but they are physical. Let's have a look at the back. So the Range Rover has a slightly longer wheelbase, and while this chair is a little bit further forward than what I would normally have it, there is so much space back here. And what I like is this can either work as an armrest like we see here with your own 8-inch panel in the center, or it can also work as another seat if you want it to. And look at this, dual screens. So I don't have to talk to anybody. I can just be in my own world watching whatever the hell I want. Now, this is the regular Range Rover. However, there are two more additions that all kind of major on what happens in the back. And the first one is the SV. This is the SV model, and in its current configuration, it's a 4-seater. Now, this is designed more for people who want something seriously luxurious. It's not about really driving it. It's the experience in the back. Now, there are lots of different customizable elements in here, including what kind of leather that you have and the different colors that we have in here and trim, but there are some really awesome features I want to show you. And the first is the pop-up little table, which is so Thunderbirds. So if I hold this down, it would help if I press the right button. So if I hold this down, it just emerges from the center console, just like something out of Thunderbirds. Now, because they're trying to keep it simple and it would take forever if you wanted to have this automated as well, this is manual, but I can swing it around like that and open it up, and look at that. I have something that could work as a desk or a picnic table or whatever you want. So this has got a wood finish, but you can also have leather on the inside as well, so stuff doesn't go flying about. Now, I will just send that on its way. How freaking cool is that? And then the next thing is a new fridge. So back here, if I press this button here, look at that. We've got a fridge with a bottle of champagne, and you also have your own glasses, which are embossed with the SV logo. And I've got a handy cup holder down here as well. Pop that in mind. So under the armrest, we have one very, very big storage cubby, of which I could probably get lost in. And also, if you want to charge up your device, you've got a wireless charging pad. Of course, if someone's hogging that, you could always just use the touchscreen in the center. There's now also a 7-seater version, and it comes in long wheelbase form. Now, Land Rover says it didn't want to make a 7-seater, and if it was going to do it, it would do it properly, and claims that you can fit 2 6-foot adults in the very last row of the 7-seater. Now, I am just under 6 foot, so might not be the best barometer, but if I sit up straight, I've still got a little bit of room to play with. So if I was 6 foot or a little bit over, it would be tight, admittedly, but it's always going to be like that in the back of a 7-seater. And legroom, well, it's not too bad either, and there's still enough space for somebody sat in front of me. So from what I can tell, it seems mission accomplished. So that's just a quick overview of the Range Rover lineup. And the last thing to talk about is price. Now, it all kicks off at around £94,400. But if you want a car like this one here, the SV, you're going to be paying a fair bit more as it's very customized. Now, you can order one today with deliveries due in around spring next year. But in the meantime, you know what to do. Either keep it right here on YouTube and check out all of our awesome videos, or head over to YesAuto.co.uk for all the latest Range Rover news and reviews.